there's PrEP. There's nothing like that in our healthcare facilities. It's only the NGOs that have that information. So maybe that's why they did access your health services, because your information is out there. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah? It switched off. Okay, yeah. So why people tend to confuse sexual orientation and sexual pleasure is because when people see gay people, they already sexualize them. They're already thinking about anal sex. That's it. No, the question it says, a lot of people tend to confuse sexual orientation and sexual pleasure. For example, gay MSM, would you say this is caused by lack of knowledge or just ignorance to perpetuate discrimination? So it is lack of knowledge, but also in the olden days, or people, the only thing they think about gay men is sex. They're sexualizing gay men. And also, MSM is not an identity, but a sexual practice. Ne? It's men who have sex with men. It's a sexual practice. So, for example, you could have a man who has sex with men, but that man wants to build a life with a wife, have kids, picket fence, and have a cat. Ne? And you might have a bisexual man who's fortunate enough to be attracted to both males and female, and you will have an MSM, a heterosexual MSM, you have a gay MSM, and also a bisexual MSM. So you will see in most of the report, people might be asking, why are you having a heterosexual MSM? Why are they heterosexual? Because it's a sexual practice. I don't know if I could be blunt, but if you watch XXXS, rated movies, you could see that heterosexual people do practice anal sex, and it's just a sexual practice. It doesn't define who they are, but some of them use it as an identity. I don't know if I was clear on that. Okay, thank you. There's another question. It needs your hands. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did this one. I did that one. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay.
You've covered all of that. I think.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think we'll call on Akona. We're about to wrap it up. I don't want to be accused of violating anyone's rights, but this question to Mr. Manqele is incomplete. So when Mr. Manqele, I'm not even going to call him up to answer the question because it's incomplete. So please, can I not be accused of a human rights violation? Yeah, I think that person who wrote to Mr. Manqele, please rephrase your question and maybe we will acknowledge it. And Akona, and we close it.
So the question is, you mentioned that you established 79 youth zones and you exited only 41 are operational. What strategies do you implement to ensure sustainability of youth zones when you exit as a partner? Well, I mentioned that we focus on capacity building. We capacitate professional nurses and facilities and ensure that everyone in facilities is sensitized on the program. And again, when it comes to, after we've trained everyone, we've also formed part, as the supporting partner, we form part of the ideal assessment teams when assessments are being done in facilities. Then we monitor and mentor facilities that they do quality improvement plans so that they are able to be the ones that are doing the program. And again, the program is led, I mentioned health clubs. They are led by young people. They are the pioneers of the clubs. So everything in the clubs is done by young people with the assistance of the champion nurses. Another question, there was a question that said who is more interactive between girls or boys. Mostly when they are mixed, it's girls that are more interactive. However, we in the health clubs, we have those that are only for females and those that are for males only. So when it's males only, they are more interactive. We saw that it's much better to separate them than to mix them. Was there any other question? Okay, when it comes to the first question that I answered, I want to add, we also involved stakeholders that are in the community so that the program is led by everyone in the community. It's not about us, but the community. Thank you.
Okay. This is the very, very last for real. I'm not sure if Amelia had addressed the cancer liver. Yeah. Yeah, and then there was also the, which was also posed to Amelia.
I don't have any other question. It's only one.
So uzo pikis amna Amelia. Uzan pikis.
There's a gift for me
if I
go wrong.
Does I copy question? There is one. Uzothengela mni gift wena Amelia.
Cancer.
Yeah, there's the cancer one, and there's one on pregnancy.
I did address it.
You addressed it. Oh, I can get.
Thank you.
All right, the question around HIV and cancer intersect. So the only connection that we know between HIV and cancer is the fact that the oral PrEP ingredients, which are TTC and TDF, tenofovir, are used as treatment for hepatitis B. Therefore, if hepatitis B is not treated, you may have cancer of the liver. If hepatitis B is not treated. So that is the link. It's the fact that the same medication that is used for PrEP is used to treat hepatitis B. Otherwise, there's no connection between the two according to what we know in research and with the work that we're doing with oral PrEP. I thank you.
Okay. This is a comment for Mr. Sifisa. It says, well done to the abstract that you will need more sustainability in prevention of HIV infections to AGYW. This strategy is needed because most sexual partners of them are way much older than them. And then there's another one that says, at Mr. Nisi, it may be important to provide access to mental health services, counseling and support groups to address internalized stigma, anxiety and depression. I think if you were sitting in the session yesterday on mental health, you would have been covered. I'm not sure who you are, but there was a session on mental health which covered this aspect. I mean, we are a very depressed country. We have inherited generations of problems. So therefore, it is only normal for us to have the amount of mental health issues that we have. Some of the phones died, electricity. So probably people are not able to access the app. So maybe we'll take a few hands and yeah, because we are trying to be very inclusive. We understand it's batteries die. Some Androids are saying, Mina Nkatele, you've been using me since 2020. So Nanhlal now anymore. And yeah, some people are just waiting for the bonus and then they're gonna hit the stores and buy those new phones. So while we beg Zella for the people that couldn't pose their questions, we'll take just maybe 2 or 3 hands. Just leave. Any questions? None. Dololo, going back to the app, there's nothing. You have a question? Okay, Kolilo has a question. No, you are not. That's us. Kolilo, some of us are old. No, we're not old. We have grown. So our hearing is deteriorating. So, as well as it, Kolilo. You're going to have to come here by the small people table.
All right, good day, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I just wanted to check from the delegates inside, do we have anybody from the Department of Basic Education or representing education, whether it is also tertiary level or not? Because I think my question is specifically to the education sector in terms of with all the stats and all the abstracts that have been presented today, anything that speaks to the in-school youth or the learners that is related to any of the abstracts that they can perhaps comment on? That's my question. Thank you.
Iggy's going to be the gentleman of Pateli Mike. Thanks, Iggy. Uzomphathe?
Thanks. I want to comment on that question to say from the civil society side, this is one of the key things that I am taking up in the province. And because we know that we should make use of the life orientation subject in our schools. So what we have arranged with the Department of Education is to have, to start with a few schools on Fridays, because at 1 o'clock every Friday schools are finishing up. So what we suggested is let's sit down and plan, target the February as a start to say every Friday, we are providing health services in school, particularly the HIV testing, talk, and PrEP, family planning, that package, so that when students or learners are coming off their classes, they see the health facilities or the gazebos within the school facilities, so that they don't have to go home and go to the facilities, public health, afterwards. Otherwise, this is a real struggle for everyone.
Yeah, and she's just addressing a Smolanyana, very elite province, Western Cape. There's a question there.
Thank you so much, Chair. For me, it is just a follow-up from the comment that Umam has just made to Amelia, that there's been challenges when that strategy has been tried to be implemented in schools, where they say in the schools that bringing biomedical services kind of disrupts how the school works, and with the issue of the transport that is taking our learners back to their homes, because they are staying, some are staying far from home. How maybe are you planning to get around that challenge of the school buses and everything that is prohibiting us from bringing the biomedical services closer to school? Thank you so much. I'm not sure if maybe you've captured my question well. Thanks.
Okay, that was the last one. And Izu, akho mntu uzothi ndimvalele ngaphandle, but nanu Amelia uzayitixa ke ngoku amngene isitixa.
Okay, so I think what we are challenging our education within the civil society is to say, what is your contribution as education in the HIV, STI, and TB response? So these are the this is why I'm saying this is an understanding between the civil society coordination and the Department of Education. So we're saying we're going to sit down and look at how do we make sure that young kids access health services or biomedical just before they go out of the school gate. Chances are in that discussion, then we'll look at what time does exactly school finish in one school and what time do we then allow for service provision. But a good thing is they have identified that as a gap and they are now acknowledging to say, bring the services. But those details, we haven't had the conversation about them. And thank you for bringing that. I will take up in our conversation. Mam Sheila, Gog Sheila, I'm talking on your behalf now.
So you're putting words in Gog Sheila's mouth. Guys, if you are not Xhosa speaking, you're going to have to get your Google Translate. Let us go and enjoy our lunch. Thank you so much for our speakers and to our people who posed questions. I guess other people are like, I'm covered. I was covered, and we're going to go back and we're going to start strategizing and planning accordingly to ensure that our constituencies get the services. Benjalo.